Hey everyone, my name is Wedge. Eternal Masters is here and there's a lot to talk about. In this video, we're going to look at the top 10 cards that would have made the best reprints in the set that were passed over. While Eternal Masters does have a lot of awesome includes, I can't help but remember a few cards that really should have made the list. Let's get right into it. Coming in at number 10 is Show and Tell. Normally I wouldn't even include a super specific combo piece in a list like this, but I mean, Sneak Attack is in Eternal Masters. One half of the infamous Sneak and Show combo, include one half but not the other, for shame. Not only is Show and Tell the more expensive of the two combo pieces, but it's also more widely played and in multiple formats. The only successful deck Sneak Attack is in is the Sneak and Show deck in Legacy. But Show and Tell, Vintage Oath of Druids, Legacy Reanimator, the card is straight up more widely used. If Sneak Attack wasn't in Eternal Masters, Show and Tell wouldn't have made the list, but it is, so here is Show and Tell. Done and done. Number 9 is Damnation. I know, you probably want this to be higher, but let's be real. Damnation is only now finally getting a foothold in Modern. Until about 6 months ago, it hadn't been played in a constructive format in a long time, so I can excuse Wizards not caring about a Modern reprint in Eternal Masters that they probably weren't even ready for anyways, I guess. What I can't excuse, this amazing Commander and Cube staple not getting a reprint when it's $60. Many Commander products have come and gone, from the Vault Annihilation, even something like Conspiracy. There have been countless opportunities to reprint Damnation in a non-standard legal set. At this point, I think it's just a huge joke Wizards is playing. Until they do decide to reprint the Black Wrath, you're going to pay a pretty penny for it. It's kind of unreal. Coming in at number 8 is Dark Depths. The card is extremely popular in Legacy and hilarious in Cube. After not being reprinted, the Depths continues to sneak up in price, sitting around $60 for a near mint copy. While this isn't the flashiest card on the list, it deserves to be reprinted. I suppose this could be a prime candidate for the upcoming From the Vault lore set or even Eternal Masters 2, but I still don't like the idea of a popular Eternal card being $60 and seeing no reprint in a set designed to reprint Eternal cards. I know this is Eternal Masters and it's supposed to focus on Legacy, Vintage, Commander, and Cube, but they really couldn't throw Goblin Guide a bone here, really. I know it's a Modern staple, but it does see play in Legacy burn decks. Goblin Guide has needed a reprint for a long time now, at least a year and a half. The big problem here is that red deck wins and burn are both gateway strategies into a format. It's usually one of the cheaper ways to start playing an older format. When you create a gatekeeper like a $30 staple, you seriously hinder the amount of players who can reasonably buy into the format. Sure, they could be waiting until Modern Masters 3, but is that really worth it with a card like this? A card that, if it were cheaper, would help loads of players get into Modern and Legacy more affordably? Not sure about that one. Goblin Guide should have been in this product, and Modern Masters 2015. Number 6, and the only non-rare card on our list, is Gitaxian Probe. I am beyond shocked this isn't in Eternal Masters. Completely floored. This was one of my slam dunks. The Probe is currently the 7th most played card in Legacy right now, in the entire format. I've said it before, I'll say it again. This common should not be $3. It just shouldn't be. That's insanity. Playability in Legacy not good enough for you? It's the 6th most played card in all of Vintage. This is Eternal Masters. You should reprint every available card that is in the top 10 most played cards in both Eternal formats. Just saying, seems like a good idea. And no, I don't care that Phyrexian mana wasn't a theme. No, bad, we needed Probe. Let's slide right into our top 5 with Cavern of Souls. Arguably the strongest tribal land ever printed, the Cavern is in a multitude of Eternal strategies, both in Legacy and Vintage. It is nice that it also sees play in Modern, but even without that, there's enough play in the Eternal constructed formats and Commander to justify its need for a reprint. Right now, one copy of Cavern of Souls is going to run you around $50. Does that not feel right to anyone else, or is that just me? You'd think there'd be a promo by now at least, right? Wow. Anyways, the card is too good and too widely used to not deserve a reprint. Should have happened by now for sure. Number 4, and another card I know is on a lot of your lists, Crucible of Worlds. This artifact is a staple in both Legacy and Vintage, seeing extensive play in multiple strategies. In the past year, it's more than doubled in price, sitting at a whopping $65 for a near mint copy. This may be another one of the victims of needed cards for Eternal Masters 2, but if it is, it's a huge bummer to Vintage players, Legacy players, and especially Commander players. Thousands of Commander players use Crucible. Would have been a great reprint, really tough one to let go of. Ow. Top 3. You think you've seen pain up to this point, you have no idea. Here we go, the top 3 cards that would have made the best reprints in Eternal Masters. Number 3 is Rishadan Port. I'm just going to show you this graph and you can decide whether or not a reprint was needed for this card. Widely played in Legacy, specifically Death and Taxes variants, lands, decks, even some aggro strategies. Rishadan Port was a shoo-in for a reprint a few months ago. The lack of one, well, you see it right there, over $100 each now, absolute insanity. Would have made a great chase rare. If we don't see a reprint for it soon, I have no idea where it's going to end up. Number 2, and the card I wanted reprinted the most in the set, is Flusterstorm. The Storm counter is in the top 15 most played Legacy cards and the top 10 most played Vintage cards. This is a staple of all staples. Doomed to only one real printing and a Judge promo, you're looking at $60 for one copy. Whether it be Miracles, Shardless Bug, Delver variants, Mentor variants, and Vintage, the list goes on and on. Flusterstorm is a key staple in Eternal formats. It's a powerful counterspell, and it really needs a reprint. It needed one in this set for sure. Alright, number 1. If Flusterstorm isn't number 1, what could it be? Yeah, sure you've all guessed by now. Zendikar Fetch Lands. I can say with 100% sincerity that I was shocked when they weren't in Eternal Masters. We're looking at $80 Scalding Tarns. $80 for a fetch land. There is no way this is okay. The fetches are played in every single format you can play them in. They're in Commander, they're in Cube, they're played in Casual if casual players could get a hold of them. They're everywhere because they're fetch lands. Even Marsh Flats is $45. There's no way that's okay. Despite all the friggin' awesome reprints in Eternal Masters, and there are many of them, no Zendikar fetch lands is a huge miss for me, gigantic miss. I know so many players who are kept out of formats because of the mana bases. I hate that. It hurts to hear it. Reprints here could have helped, even if just a little bit. Here's hoping the Zen fetches come back in Conspiracy or Commander or literally anything. Pray with me, friends. That's going to do it for this list. There were many more cards that were passed over for Eternal Masters, but these were definitely the biggest omissions as far as I'm concerned. Let me know what you think in the comments and which cards you wish were in the set. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Any big disappointments for you, leave them below. As always, subscribe for the latest and most reliable Magic the Gathering information you could ever need. This is the Manosaurus. I'm Wedge. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. This video is brought to you in part by TCGplayer.com. While these cards weren't in Eternal Masters, some awesome ones were, and they're affordable now. It's like magic. Now seems like an amazing time to pick up some Cabal therapies if you need them. Right now, $5, incredibly cheap compared to the old cost. Great deal for one of the best discard spells ever printed. Not your style? No problem. How about grabbing yourself a few Baleful Strix? Our preview card is looking real good, sitting at $3.50 each right now. Great price for a card that screams value. You want cheap cards? TCGplayer.com has them. Enjoy.